For once, I'd like to tell you about a few games that I'm excited about, not because they're new, not because it's some top 10 list, but because I just want to play them. I just want to play them right now. I keep thinking about them, I'm playing them online. Plus, if I disqualify any games that are brand spanking new, then you don't have to worry about having to wait for a Kickstarter, you don't have to worry about them being sold out. In fact, these are all games that have been reprinted so many times that not only can you find them right now, but you'll probably be able to find them long into the future. So I'd like to start off with Hansa Teutonica. Hansa Teutonica first came out in 2009, but I didn't play it until this year. And since I've started playing it, I really enjoy it and I want to keep playing it. It's one of the most Euro-y Euro games that I know. You're German merchants and you're establishing trade routes in Germany, so a bit of a dry theme, but I like that it has a very elegant rule set. The game is all about claiming trade routes, kind of something like Ticket to Ride, but instead of claiming routes using cards, which would involve a degree of luck, this is a purely strategic game where you're looking at what your opponents are trying to do and see if you can interfere with their objectives so that you can obtain a bonus when they have to pay extra to remove your guys from the routes that they want. Now, the next two games I'm excited about because I'm always playing them on Boardgame Arena. The first one is actually my personal gateway game. This is the game that opened my eyes to the potential for board games. It came out in 2007, and it's the game Agricola. Now, Agricola is an Uwe Rosenberg game, and many people would consider Feast for Odin his magnum opus, but not me. I like the elegance of Agricola, which is a relatively simple worker placement game. And the thing that I really like about it is that it's not a point salad game. This is a game where you're trying to earn victory points by growing your farm and raising livestock, but the challenge of the game is, at the end of every harvest, you still have to feed your family. So the game has this tightness to it that I really enjoy. The other game that I'm always playing on Board Game Arena is Russian Railroads. Now, Russian Railroads came out in 2013, and since then it was relaunched as Ultimate Railroads, which is the original game with a lot of expansions included. Now, admittedly, Russian Railroads and Agricola are very similar games, but this is my list where anything goes, and I like both, so they're both on the list. Few things that distinguish Russian Railroads is, one, thematically I think it's a lot more dry. It's purely focused on just the mechanics of worker placement and track advancement, but how worker placement is done is different in that from the beginning, all of the actions are available to everyone, whereas in Agricola, the actions are revealed one round at a time. And then the second distinguishing characteristic of Russian Railroads is that there are no restrictions. You don't have to feed your workers as you do in Agricola. It's really just about getting as many points as you can and trying to play in such a way that what your opponents do doesn't interfere with your plan. Now, jumping off of Board Game Arena and back into the real world, another game that I've been playing a lot lately has been hitting the table because I've been making a lot of new friends ever since I moved to Okinawa. It's the game Cosmic Encounter. Its first edition came out in 1977, my edition came out in 2008, and there have been several other editions since then. In any case, in Cosmic Encounter, players are different alien races, so they all have a unique power, and they're competing to have the most foreign colonies by having encounters with one another. Now, when an encounter is had, players have to ally up, and sometimes negotiations are done and trades are made, and there's a whole lot of shenanigans involving the alien powers, which means this is a game that involves a lot of laughter. That's why I like it so much. It's always a good time. And the fifth game on this list, I decided to include it because I fell in love with it again when I played it recently only 2 weeks ago. It's a game called Decrypto. It came out in 2018, and it's a word game that's not unlike Codenames. Players split up into two teams, and one team tries to communicate using a code. But before the receiver of the code gets to interpret the message, the opposing team attempts to decrypt the code. And I love it because the game just has excellent tension. It's a very competitive game and a very smart game. Decrypto, highly recommend it. So at this moment, those are the 5 games that I'm most excited about playing right now. But I'm not claiming that these are like the best games ever. Though they are great, they're not the best games ever because I go through seasons. I get excited about some games and then, those get a little old and I get excited about something else. So I think a video like this where I just talk about what I'm excited about right in the moment is something I can probably remake every several months. But until then, I'm interested to hear what you're excited about playing, especially if you've got some of those long-time favorites, games with longevity. Also, I want to express my gratitude to my patrons. Right now, there's a small group of us that participate in a Discord channel where I'm talking about the games that I'm going to be reviewing, some of the games that I've played that I did not like, and ideas for upcoming videos. If participating in that community is something that you're interested in, you might consider becoming a patron. But whether you become a patron or not, I would like to thank you again for watching my video, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.